Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash Gaming, week number 3, game number 1. My name's Neely Bobber, followed by my lovely co-caster, Bubba Fabes. Welcome back, Bubba.
It feels good to be back.
It feels good to have you back. And that sounded terrible, but I love it. But today, guys, we have a very special game for you. We have the team of Best Controllers versus Project Trojan. Right now we're doing map bans. Right now Clubhouse and Consulate are already out because those were the two they played last week. And now we see Villa being taken out and Border. So it's just down to Bank, Coastline, and Cafe Dostoevsky? I can't pronounce that. Cafe. I'm just saying Cafe. Not too surprised by the Border and the Villa ban. Villa just being a big map, Border just being kind of stale. People are just trying to mix it up a little bit.
Cafe's off.
Cafe's off. It is a newer map, so I think people are still getting used to the changes that were made for there. So we're just down to Bank and Coastline. I have a feeling we're going to see Bank. That's
really?
Just I feel like teams still don't like Coastline. They don't like that centerpiece.
They should. They should like Coastline.
It's well with the center. Yeah, as I thought. So the center is just a double-edged sword. It leads too much. It takes too much away from the map. Not saying the map is bad. It's hard to really think of something new with that. So we are going to Bank. No surprise there. It is a very prolific map. Good for roamers. Good for. Even it's good for pretty well any operator you pick. There's a strategy for it. It does lean itself though to roaming.
Oh yeah, it's a heavy roaming map. Like there's 3 separate staircases from the main leading up to the top floor, and obviously like hatches and staircases leading to the basement. Like there's so many different areas that a roamer can run and hide that it's going to come down to. If you have a strong roaming game or counter roaming game, that'll definitely decide the difference.
Yeah, and what another big thing too is the amount of areas where you can put area denial, where you can put anything like that. So it will be an interesting one to see and how that goes. But we're just going to jump into the game. Jump into the game now, and we're going to start with the operator bans.
Ooh, we already have one left, so I imagine we're going to see a bit of a we're going to see a repost. Of what it looks like. But let's talk about predictions on who do we expect to be banned.
Okay, so we're most likely going to see a Habana ban or a Maverick ban. No, probably. No. Usually Maverick is still in, so I'm going to assume either a Habana or a Thermite. So we're going to get rid of those two. And for defense, I'm going to say there's going to be an Echo in there and an Ella. Again, Ella just being a PS4 thing.
Yeah.
Getting that shotgun off the board is kind of crucial.
Yeah, and like I gotta hand it to there's very few situations personally that I would select a shotgun, but covering the blue stairs down into having a shotgun there is really hard to try to fish someone out of.
Yeah, and especially if it's Ella, because of the RPM capabilities of that gun and the way her gadget works, she can kind of position herself in an awkward area on the steps, and when the concussion or Grismont goes off, it makes it hard for you to really pinpoint where she's at, so therefore you're just walking into a spray. And obviously with Jaeger on the board, there's going to be some ADSs there. So in all, it's pretty common for us to see an Ella ban. Yeah, especially because of the blue stairs. But it seems very particular. Other than that, though, Ella isn't really an impact operator on any other site. It's only basement. Yeah. So that would be so for defense, Echo, Ella, and then for attack, I'm going to say a Habana, and I'm going to say maybe Jackal. Yeah, he's a pretty common ban just because of the power of his. Just because of the power of his gadget, it just and
how often the defenders can roam on this map. That's if you're defending first, you kind of want to get rid of that. You don't want to be pinged every few seconds when you're trying to hide away. So I think that might be a possible ban option.
Yeah, no, that's very well could be a ban option. But yeah, those are my picks. Is there anybody different that you might think make it into this?
I think that's pretty much on point. For a second, I was humming and hawing about a Mira, but based on like compared to like Echo and stuff, Mira's okay to have. Like she's not that big of a deal on basement. She has a pretty good positions on the top floor that I like, but again, nothing that can't be countered. But that Echo can be a huge pain in the neck. So I don't know, but yeah,
Echo and Maestro can be interchanged in that
Echo
list
Maestro,
easily.
Yeah.
I've seen a little less Maestro ban. I think people are starting to gravitate a little bit away from him, but again, he is a super powerful operator with the Alda, with just the amount of he's a tanky operator. It's just he's overall a good character, but it's just that LMG people can sometimes not get a grip on, and the fact that his utility can easily be dispatched just because of the nerf that happened a little while ago.
Yeah.
With Twitch being able to open up the evil eye, being able to get rid of it, so he kind of, you see a little bit less play with them, just because that intel is very important. And Twitch, so it's just one of those things where Echo is the safer pick to have if he isn't banned. But other than that, though, what are your thoughts on Bank itself? Do you feel that it is going to lend itself to be compared to what Best Controllers did last time? The way they played on Clubhouse, they were very, very they were pretty aggressive in the roam game. So do you feel like this might lend itself to that, or can you think
absolutely like for the really aggressive teams, like the really intense roamers and stuff, like this is their playground. There's like the intensity that the attackers have to like methodically go floor to floor and make sure every crevice is clear is crucial. Because when you have that, like those crazy teams that have like sometimes like those 3 crazy roamers, there's so many angles, and like I can't even like describe the amount of chaos that goes on if you don't properly dispose of them, hunt them down, and chase them away before you get on with your attack. So
exactly, it can really be a detriment, and hopefully Project Trojan is ready for them to be that aggressive. It's something that can really catch you off guard. My experiences with Bank is just heavy roam, especially when they're on the archives tellers.
Yeah,
there's definitely going to be a heavy roam game, especially up top. There's going to be people waiting up there. So those are the bands we think are going to happen. Just based on who is somebody that you want off the board? Who do you feel would be an operator that having them off the board is definitely going to make an impact that is not on that list?
I would say
should be on that list.
I would say Smoke.
Smoke, okay, yeah.
Because especially for that basement, if they bring in that thermite, they're able to try to get that turnaround plant going down. Often, like, you might have one person, maybe 2 ready with the C4 for that throw, but like to get that smoke in there, it's not only is it like a huge explosion, but it delays them as well. And it's such a narrow area for the attackers to try to sneak in that plant that it can really hold them off. Basement specifically, and again, I think overall, like that use is just pretty universal. So I think Smoke is always a safe bet if you don't know who to ban.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, exactly. That's a pick to have. He's a very strong operator. One I would pick would be Buck, just because that leaves Teller's archives a lot more defendable. Because if they have a sledge, granted he does the same thing, but he's much easier to counter, because once he breaks a hole, you have a good idea where he's at. Whereas Buck can blow open, any which way. And it's much
faster, more maneuverable. Yeah,
exactly. And he is, his gun might have a worse recoil, but with his skeleton key, he technically has 3 weapons at his disposal plus frag grenades. And so it's just one of those things where I feel that having him off the board could be a bigger game changer if rather than having him stay on there, right? Because it's just going to make one of your bomb sites pretty hard to defend if he's not taken care of right away.
Yeah. So
that's going to be a toughie. But we are just waiting for everybody to get back into the game here. We do have people starting to come in, so we'll be back. I think another minute or so. But I know you weren't here last time, but last time we saw with best controllers, the map or the bands that they did for operators were Maverick, Jackal, Ella, and Echo, and that was on Clubhouse. So
okay.
Pretty well 3 of the 4
yeah.
that we picked are on that list, and I could see the same thing happening again. But best controllers won last time. They won 7-5. It was a pretty close one. I haven't seen Project Trojan though play, so it's going to be interesting to see how they've played and what they got last game. Just because watching a team play and then knowing what their strengths are, and especially because of how they played, hopefully it's going to be a good one. Hopefully it's going to be a really really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So while we wait, though, we can definitely talk about the new season that's going to be coming out. Have you had a chance to play the technical test server?
No, I have not. I'm afraid.
No,
the download for that on my PC is like 3 days or something. Like it's just like my internet is just unbelievable. But
no, that's fair.
Yeah, but I've been watching.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. It's an interesting one. It actually makes me really like. This is going to be like, I feel like probably one of the better seasons out of the year.
Yeah, I like the constant map upgrades and stuff. Like the amount of effort that Ubisoft is putting in to try to make the game consistently like competitive and interesting is. I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm. No, I know the last season was a little bit lackluster, like Nook and Warden were a little underwhelming. Nook was probably, I'd say Warden too, but more Nook was a little bit of a downer for people because they were expecting something a little different with her.
Yeah,
but I'm actually trying to main her. I'm actually trying to get good with her and figure out a good way to have her enter and which way it would be best. So I've developed a few strategies with her, but it's still pretty tough.
Yeah, I think like people were really excited at first, but I think the novelty kind of like ran off as people like realized that like they're kind of cool, but like picking like there's so many other operators that just like have so much more to provide. They're not so situational, you know?
Yeah. And especially because Warden's gadget only works when he's standing still, and because of Glass, and it's just one of those things where it's like in Siege you can't stand still. Like it's one of those things where you can hold angles, but you can't really stay still. So, but I am excited for that. But we are getting back into the game, into the operator bands, so it will be starting to kick off now. So let's see what the first ban is.
Yeah,
let's see if we were right. Let's see how right we were. So, first one, it might not be the first one, but Habana should be in this list. We're either going to say Habana or Jackal first.
Yeah, Habana, like, normally, like, we're saying Habana over, there we go, right there, over, like, Thermite, because the amount of hatches that are possibly able to open, Habana can open more hatches than Thermite, so that's usually why Habana's taken off. And being able to, like, open up walls from a distance too, because there's some situations where sticking the Thermite there is just gonna like make people aware, and there's some areas that you can just throw a C4 at them. Ooh, Montaigne. Montagna. Okay.
Very powerful. Actually, I didn't even think about that. I honestly didn't think about that.
It crossed my mind when I was talking about smoke, because like that, again, a lot of these strats going through my mind are specifically the basement, which I don't want to continually going back to because there's the other floors. There's some amazing strats on the other floors, but like just talking about the basement again, just being able to hide behind Monty again in that one corner can like super just get that plant down.
And because the new season isn't out yet, shield operators are pretty powerful. Especially a Monty. A Monty can be super aggressive and make your life very difficult. So,
wait, they're changing shields in the future? I didn't.
They're changing it so the ADS time, but the potential the ADS time is going to be much slower, like a lot slower. Okay, we got 3 of 4 again. So
here we go.
Vana, Monty, Echo, Ella. So I have the Jackal on the board still.
Yep.
That's a big one, right? So we are going to be jumping in here. We're looking at what they're going to be running. Smoke, again, nice to see him on the board. So Smoke, Mira, Bandit, Pulse. So typical basement hold. This is the operator comp you want to lock out that basement there. So we have an IQ, Thatcher, Zofia, Twitch, and Thermite. Again, standard composition. Nothing too fancy there. Zofia is just going to be there for. She might push the garage with that.
Possibly, yeah.
She can either push through garage or she's going to open up walls up top, so therefore she has better angles into CCTV.
Yeah. But looking at the defenders here, again, if the team decides not to roam, like, you're putting at yourself at a huge disability. So looking at what we have here, I'm guessing not Pulse, because Pulse, they're probably going to sit in the gold room because he's able to get information from there on all the attackers that are trying to make a move. So that's probably where they're going to put Pulse. So maybe Bandit, Jaeger, Roam.
That's not uncommon. Maybe we might see Bandit stay downstairs. But we're definitely going to see Jaeger roam.
Yeah,
that's a given. He's got his ADSs down, his barbed wires down. So his only job at this point is to stall for time.
Yeah.
We will have a Twitch drone coming in through the tunnels. And if I'm not mistaken, did I just see a Twitch drone take care of a
Mira?
Mira.
Heading to the garage, I think so.
To go back to that, but okay, so it's an interesting. It's a mirror wall on there into the garage. It's a very uncommon spot just because of how easily counterable it is if they get that hatch above him. And we have Jaeger upstairs. He's going to roam. He's going to wait and see if these attackers come in through by skylight. So it's just a waiting game. 2 minutes on the clock, and the attackers are taking it slow. They're trying to play the methodical game, get as much intel as they can, and just drone out every single possible corner just to make sure where they know where or if there are roamers, but we know there are some. And oh no, Speedy misplaced C4 kills himself and nobody else. So
that's the first kill of the
first kill of the game. Does that count as a negative KD then?
Yeah,
he got to kill, but he got to kill himself.
Oh,
did he really get it? He got it.
Oh man!
So there's that wall gone, but we do have the Jaeger getting a refrag onto Blitzkrieg. And we have the Pulse up here, just pushing up, being a little bit more aggressive on those stairs. Jaeger's just waiting for, I don't know who was on the blue stairs, but he was waiting for somebody. And we see Yellow take out Nightmare. So that's another one down. We're down to a 3v4 at this point. Attackers are getting slowly picked off. So they do have, but they still have a minute left. So they can at least try and get a little bit more info and do a heavy push. They do finally spot out the Jaeger upstairs. Not able to hit his shots. A little bit of potato. Those beams are saving that Jaeger's life. A little bit of a gunfight up top, and right now we have the Twitch pushing in, trying to do a little bit of pre-fire, trying to pick somebody who's trying to have a little bit of a cheeky peek. Looks like Thermite is going to try and go for the quick plant. He's going to go for the reverse plant, but the C4 is going to come out. Oh no, it's going to be the smoke grenade. He does bait out pretty good, but with 30 seconds left, time is running out. He still has 2 left. He can actually clutch this one out if he has time to. As you can see here, it's a nice shot coming from the Twitch, being able to take out that smoke. And the C4 does take out the Thermite, but the Thermite gets the plant off pretty quickly. So it is down to a 3v2. Can easily be clutched, but Twitch is taking a little bit of damage. Right now he's hiding behind the bomb, not able to hit his shots. Backs away from the bomb. And right now we have IQ still up here with the Jaeger, but it gets picked off pretty quick. And Y Game finishes off Twitch and goes for the defuse. Very, very good game, or a good round coming from Dust Control. Good way to start. Started off a bit rough.
Again, having that Jaeger up top, I think he got 2 kills total. And not only that, but like it required the attackers to like leave someone to try to kind of counter him, and I think
that's what finished him off, because there was only a Twitch downstairs.
Someone's phone. But yeah, so again, taking care of those roamers is going to be pretty vital in this. Now, mind you, Miz like had the opportunity to take down Gun Z, I guess, and just kind of whiffed those shots. So that may have completely turned around that whole match with that Jaeger off the board. That would have left the IQ to actually come back down and help support the other attackers for that push again. So
yeah,
maybe like,
So I would just totally agree with you. The Jaeger there did his job to a T.
Yeah.
He only got 2 kills, but that's all he needed to do. He didn't need to do anything else. He just had to stall for time and bring the attention somewhere else. And therefore, the Twitch got flooded out by 2 other operators. And then the Jaeger finished off the IQ. So good play by him. Good play by best controllers. The way to start off.
So like it was kind of close. The defenders seemed to kind of have control over that, and also keeping in mind that they were down a player like pretty quickly. So that was a pretty good defense.
He Sudoku'd pretty quickly there. Unfortunately, he bit the bullet. I don't know how he did it. Maybe he went for a
as soon as they opened up the hatch, he was going for that C4 kill, and I think. That's my assumption. I didn't see what happened, but it happened right after that hatch was open. So I think he was going to try to throw one through.
Maybe that very well could have happened, or maybe he threw it and it just hit the wrong spot. He was too close. Again, could be a multitude of things, but we're not too sure. Yeah. But we do have sentries down here. He is going to watch the tunnel. Pretty common entry point, especially when you're trying to get a little bit of a jump on the team in this bomb site. You can definitely, if the defenders are not watching it. It can actually be a very tricky or clever way to come in. But 90% of the time they watch it because of how close it is to Blue Stairwell. Yeah. And it's pretty well the easiest way to get into Kitchen. Second easiest way to get into Kitchen.
Now, I'm surprised that they have no roamer upstairs. They're putting all of their effort into making sure no one comes up to the basement. You kind of want to slow down and deny the attackers upstairs a little bit. Now, roaming upstairs, you can be a little bit more vulnerable. There's like a lot more windows if you accidentally push your way out to the foyer. But given the attacker's approach is going to be to take control of the top floor, open it up, and kill anyone that's trying to anchor, and then go for your push. That's generally what the attackers try to do. We already have Nightmare, though, who has pushed himself up. I assume that the camera's already gone, so...
No, the camera's actually still on. He did not take care of that default cam. That's the number one thing you do once you get in. But
the pre-fire
gaming with the pre-fire spots him on the camera, knows where he's at, and that's why you take out default cameras, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you do it.
Very disappointing to see.
When you get pre-fired by the slowest RPM gun in the game, you've done something wrong. Yeah. So they do spot out the bandit was in a tough spot there. He could have possibly leaped down, but again, tough spot. He gets taken out pretty quickly. Down to a 4v4 though, but there's only a minute left. And another one from Y Game. He comes and takes care of the IQ. So that's 2 pretty important operators off the board just due to just willy-nilly plays. You're just walking into an area not knowing any intel.
Yeah, and as we flip through some of the attackers, they are spread out. I don't even know if they have a plan right now, but unless they like come up with something quick, a strategy to push together, it's not going to go well.
No, White Gaming's just trying to take care of the Twitch drone. He finally does. But 28 seconds left, and yeah, like you said, the attackers are just everywhere. Goo mines are out, and Canna gets picked off pretty quickly by one. And we do have the thermite opening up the back wall over here. It's going to get pre-fired by the Valkyrie is not able to finish him off and gets picked off pretty quick. Why Gaming, though, not able to finish him off, but we see Speedy with the headshot from the Deagle. And again, another one, very, very convincing round coming from
the defenders once again. Yeah, best controllers. That round went down quickly as soon as they decided to push in the open foyer without taking out the camera. They
There wasn't much intel they were going off of either. They just walked in. There was no droning. There was no nothing. Well, there was a bit of droning. There's very little droning. But I feel there was probably not a lot of communication going on between those drones. So,
there's instances where I can see not taking out a camera, give away position, or you're just going for that push. But for pushing from the front doors, that camera's always going to be watched.
That's the first one you watch.
That's the first one you watch, and that's an easy camera to kind of take out. No one assumes anything for taking out that camera. That's just the camera that you basically want off the board altogether. So take out that camera, and if you wanted to push aggressively like he was doing, then you can continue to do so. But I don't know what was being thought of, and they kind of paid the price for that.
It was a very loose idea of a strategy, and unfortunately, when they both got picked off, when they lost the IQ and they lost the Jackal,
yeah,
they were a little lost. As you said, they were separated. There wasn't a lot of cohesion there.
Yeah.
But we move our way up top. So this one here pretty well almost have to be a win for the attackers. This is a harder site to hold. Not impossible. Definitely not impossible. But it is challenging just because of how many angles and the lack there of movement you can do as a defender. So it will be very interesting to see how they hold this and how they defend it and how they use these angles to their advantage.
Yeah, I assume we might see... So we have Legion with 1 impact left. I'm trying to see if anyone else is going to be bringing an impact, because that impact trick for that east wall is vital for stopping any thermite, which they have. If you stop that thermite, then it becomes a little bit easier to hold. But anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, yeah, see, that's what's going on there. They're opening up above that barricaded wall, and as soon as thermite kind of plants this charge, all you have to do is throw an impact on that roof, and it blows up the thermite, so your wall's safe.
Exactly. There is a way to get around it, though, by blowing out the floor underneath with a Zofia or a Buck. It is dangerous, though, because of how close you are to the defending team, and just because usually there is somebody downstairs. But that is usually the counter to that strategy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like they're going to be trying that. It looks like they might be trying to come in through the northwest entrance. And we do have Gunzy here, a little bit of a gunfight with IQ. Not able to hit his shots, though. And he will probably heal himself up eventually and keep going back. So he's playing a dangerous game at this point.
Really going for that fight too, but again, there he goes down. Yeah, the problem with trying to counter that is you kind of know you're gonna get pre-fired, as we do see Yellow with a nice shot with the SMG-11, not the MPX, the SMG-11. That's a tough shot to hit, but he got a nice kill right. They're already down to 1 minute and 15 seconds. Defenders doing a really good job of 4v4 at the moment. Again, we have Speedy Roman as that Jaeger in a really good position to counter them if they're trying to come down by Skylight, which they do right now. And he's going to get a nice kill onto Har.
Very nice. And then Speedy, he's going to speed his way away. And he's basically, at this point, he's done his job. Now the attackers have a very challenging situation where they know there's one below and they know there's a bunch of people are going to be watching him, and unfortunately, not able to hit the Twitch. You cannot beat the F2 with the UMP. That is a very difficult task. But as we see here, Miz is going to go in. He's not going to look. He's not going to see the guy. Oh, actually, there's nobody in there, so the objective is completely clear. There have been. Oh, but the diffuser is nowhere to be found. The diffuser is actually outside of the objective, and as you can see here, though, Miz does take down at least one of them. And Kuna going back for the diffuser. He's going to go for the plant. Any second now. But we have... Oh, Speedy, though, does stop him. And right now we have, Miz finally takes him out, and it's down to a 2v1. It's just... Actually, well, it's down to a 1v1. It is down to the lead at this point. Very nice from Miz is able to stop that Legion dead in his tracks. It was back and forth there for a second though, but as you see here, a little bit of a play around, a little bit of a spin and victory. Nice play. Yeah. Project Trojan. It looks like getting one back on the board. That's going to be very, very crucial because that's going to bring the morale back. And then from here, they can try and edge out a couple more wins.
Yeah. Yeah, they really kind of came together with the gun game at the end there. Defenders, I think, were they were doing peaks that they shouldn't have been doing. Like, they were at a big disadvantage for some of those peaks, and that's kind of where we saw Trojan kind of take advantage of, and that really put them in that lead. And then near the end, it was just so close of a tie, like 2v2 and stuff, that with some nice shots, they were able to just pick off that win.
Yep, and another thing too is I noticed the defenders gave up the site pretty quick. There was nobody around. Like Legion was over in the boardroom. He could have rotated out at some point, but I don't think the call ever came out. So he was over there. We had Jaeger downstairs, so he had rotated his way back up. He did take out the planter, which was good, but then for some reason he got aggressive. He could have waited. He could because at that point the IQ had to get the
push on.
He had to push it, but he got aggressive, and then it was weird. He got too aggressive, and unfortunately the Legion was too passive. It was just it was an unfortunate circumstance. A little bit of confusion coming out, but as you see, we do have White Gaming having a little bit of a spasm. But yeah, we did see Project Trojan kind of eke out the victory there, just because again sloppy plays coming from best controllers just in that situation. So let's see if they can tighten up their game a little bit. Yeah, interesting nice. Valkyrie cameras though.
Yeah, providing that extra intel again because it's such a roam heavy map. Using those Valk cams, again, like right there for some like really good intel to provide your roamer can be his best pal and like to make those callouts for your team extremely vital. Now, mind you, they brought in IQ, so we'll see how often IQ is actually going to be checking for things like this. I assume by now they were able to make a call out that they know there's a Valk during that droning phase. So the IQ should be watching out for those. So we'll see how many she can catch.
Yeah. Especially with the one in the office there, it's going to be pretty easy to see that one, even without the IQ cam or the IQ detector. So, Speedy playing a little bit aggressive with the Valkyrie, moving his way into garage. So he can get cut off pretty easily if he's not too careful, but it does look like the attackers are going to be trying to do a blue stairwell push, and the same thing with the office push. So they kind of have the same plan as they did last time, where they are bringing a few different operators. Maverick making his way onto the board.
Yeah, running a bit of time. There looks like there were some shots on Maverick. It looks like he is trying to open up that hatch, so I wonder if someone was able to just get like 1 or 2 bullets into him. But so far the attackers are playing it well. Now, mind you, I don't think they droned for that roamer again, so if they're not on guard...
As you see here, IQ is a little bit fixated. You should use your scanner just to make sure that there is no eyes in there. But as you can see here, we do have the smoke ready to stall any plant attempts, and we do have the pulse as well in gold cash room. Just ready to give the call on if anybody is going to be planting. So first smoke does go out though with 50 seconds left. It's a little early in my books. Usually you want to try and go for about 20 to 30 seconds. So he does try and bait it out. Second one goes out, and we do see Blitzkrieg able to, and then another one coming from Miz. So that is 2 defenders off the board. Does look like this might be another attacker round, and that smoke grenade goes a little too far, and Miz with another one onto White Gaming. So it's not just 5v2. It's not looking very good at all, but a nice shot coming from Gunzy, able to bring one back on the Miz, the main fragger. So as you see here, we do have, nice shot coming from Sentries, able to stop the plant as well, and just like that, we're down to a 2v1. The 2 defenders brought this back to the brink. And with 6 seconds left, it doesn't look very good for the Twitch in the F2. She can eke this out, but it does look like Sentries is playing it quite safe. And what
a play!
Round coming from best controllers.
That was
that was completely
insane.
Lost.
Yeah. Yeah, the attackers had full advantage. Like, they were able to get some really nice kills from those hatches.
It was a 5v2.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic play.
The sentries pulled off some really nice kills stopping that plant. Like, I didn't see who was it, Y Gaming or Gunsy, I think, died. But whoever was the bandit who was roaming around, I think he picked up one kill on that.
Sentries was Sentries was Smoke, and Gunsy was Jaeger.
Gunsy was, okay, yeah.
It's Sentries and Gunsy.
But notice the difference between that round and the first one was all the defenders were downstairs. There was no roamers, and the attackers, whether like if they droned out everything and they kind of knew that, they were able to do basically open up all these angles and just sit there and hold them while you try to get that plant down. And just by doing that, they're just kind of safely sitting there waiting for the defender to kind of peek and get those kills. You need those roamers so that they can't sit there so safely and to waste that extra time. But that wasn't in place, and the attackers had enough time. They had all their utilities, and yeah, they should have won it.
They 100% should have won that. And like you said, Sentries pulling off pretty well the impossible. He had 2 guns pointing at him as he was hopping through that vault hole. Downed one, killed the planter, and then the third gun backed away, killed the one person he downed. And same thing with was Gunsy up top, taking out the he took out the IQ, and he took out another one from a different angle. Can't remember exactly. But so again, it was just a amazing collaboration from between the two, just knowing what was happening, knowing what to do, and just their aim just on the point. So good job, best controllers. From Project Trojan's got to be feeling the pain after that one. That's a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, again, for Sentries, getting those kills with the SMG-11 and using a controller, I'm embarrassed. I don't think I could make those with a mouse and keyboard. So, man, those were some nice shots.
Those are some incredibly good shots. But we do see here the bandit will be staying up top. He's going to be waiting for anybody to come through the main door. They do drone him out, though, so he drone him out and gets tagged a little bit. So, oh wow, they are on the drone game at this point. So it's just a matter of time before he gets picked off. He can fight his way, so the attackers do know he's here, so he can waste more time if necessary. But unfortunately, Nightmare does dispatch of him quite quickly up top. Good droning coming from Project Trojan. So from here, they move on. We do have the Thermite coming in through offices as well. Pushing an open area, making sure kitchen is clear. And minute 30 on the clock. We do have a lot of time left, and the attackers are moving actually a little bit more briskly, and they are moving a little bit more methodically. So again, it doesn't seem too much like the last round has affected them overly, but we do have Har just kind of scooting around, just trying to play possum with the camera, possibly. I'm not too sure what he's doing.
Yeah, so like Project Trojan's in a really good spot right now. They have position. They've done a really good job at opening up what they need to open up. And again, now they're in position. Now they're just waiting, and they're picking off defenders because they have so much time left.
And just like that, we're back down to 2v5 with 50 seconds left. So, and as I say that, we're down to a 1v5. So this Mozzie, Wide Gaming, has to pull off the clutch of a lifetime at this point. And he missed.
Oh my god, there's 2.
He's got 2. That Commando 9 does do some work. He's gonna scoot around. He's gonna try and figure out where these other ones are. I think he knows one's out here. Not able to hit his shots, and unfortunately missed. Does outgun the Mozzie at that point. It was very close. Well, I say very close. He got 2.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was trying to clutch out. He knew one was out here, though, so good on him. Good attempt. Very good attempt. Project Trojan ekes one back at this point. We're going into round number 6.
Yeah, that was a fantastic setup by Project Trojan. Like, that's basically what they did last game, minus the defenders all of a sudden getting God mode and just like getting some kills. But like, again, they seem to be playing. Those last 2 rounds were so much better than what we've seen. They got into position. They all did what they needed to do. Their droning was on point. Like, they got sentries. They nearly like shot them through the wall because they were so like on point with their communication. And yeah, like that's what you need to do to succeed at attacking. Dispose of the roamers, get in your positions, and then basically at that point the defenders are kind of like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, exactly. And it was actually a very convincing round for Project Trojan. So I think it may have been the site. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see. But we are going back downstairs. It does seem like Best Controllers does have a strategy that they are trying to implement here. Going into round 6, they can technically lose this and still have a good chance of winning. Because, you know, obviously they're tied at that point, and who knows, maybe they might do a little bit better on attack than they do on defense. But it can go the exact same way for Project Trojan. They might be having some trouble on attack, but they can maybe pull it out in defense. So let's see this round ekes out. Let's see if they make the same mistakes as they did last round. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully
I'm interested to see with kind of what they're going to change to make that work. Now we have Y Gaming switching over to the Bandit instead of Sentries, but it looks like him and Gunzy are going to be up top. So adding that extra player is going to be nice, because now you got someone else up there to kind of support you rather than being alone and then having to worry against everyone just kind of closing in. So kind of what I would have done too.
Sorry, continue.
Sorry, I was just going to say kind of like what I would have done. You want to be able to slow them down on that top floor. We'll see if throwing an extra body is going to do a difference.
Yeah, and but they do seem to always have somebody in CEO. They always seem to get droned out and get caught up, and it's just, it hasn't worked, and they keep doing it. So, as we see here, Y Gaming gets picked off again.
Yeah.
Being aggressive. Although we do have Gunzy upstairs, though, so maybe the attackers might think it's clear now. But even then, you've lost an operator again in the same way in roughly the same amount of time. And just like that, we have Gunzy being droned out. So this is not looking good for him at this point.
Yeah. In order to kind of correct that, like, what a lot of pro teams do is they'll actually use some fortifications and a lot of utilities. There's the second kill going on to Gunzy from Nightmare. A nice pre-fire through the wall. Again, well droned out. Now the attackers are in a really good position on a 5v3. They have the top floor cleared, and they're just going to, again, everyone gets into position. Walls already being opened up. The floor is going to be opened up, and they're just going to sit there and shoot the fish in the barrel. Sentries, though, does have something to say about that, but Kuna is going to hop on and kill Speedy, as they're already getting pretty close into just entering into the match. But like I was saying, yeah, a lot of what they'll do is they'll put up full fortifications and stuff, and actually, like, to sit people up there with those walls fortified to try to hold that off.
Yeah, and we do have sentries kind of going off a little bit. It does take out 2 operators, not able to finish off Kuna with that F2, and it's just under 3v1 with Yellow. Yellow has that SMG-11. He's been doing pretty good with it, and at this point, it will have a little bit of a tough challenge. He knows there's probably going to be somebody coming up from the backside here. Not too sure where. Here's the plant go down, gets pre-fired a little bit. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish him off, and Nightmare able to finish him very easily. Again, another decisive round come from Project Trojan on Archives Tellers going into the switch.
Yeah, another beautiful attack, like well organized. Well, like their droning game seems much better. Like it's to take care of those roamers. It just made the whole round so much easier for them.
It did. It really did. And with the switch, it's going to be interesting to see how they change things up. As we see here, they bring Capitao. Not too sure if that's going to be a 6 pick though. That very well could be. Doesn't look like. They might be assuming a basement take. So by taking Capitao, he's able to lock through the hatches. There's some spots where he's able to like set those arrows, and if you're able to do that like right before the plant goes down, you can basically kind of hold off anyone from trying to peek long enough for that plant to go down. So that might be their strategy with that. Yeah, actually, it very well could be. I was expecting the Capitao to be a 6th pick, but as you see here, it is going to lock onto it, and it will be implemented. So it's going to be interesting how he does this. He very well could do that, or it could be a direct counter to the Mira, right? You know, it's not stopped by any of the Jaeger ADSs. If he gets a clear sight, he can completely nullify that entire angle for the smoke and the mirror to work together, so it makes it easier for them to plan at that point. So it'll be interesting how they use him, if they can use him at all, right? Because if he gets picked off early, you know,
yeah,
kind of can't use him if he's dead. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be crucial to keep that Capitao alive. They do seem to have the same setup as best controllers, though. Going to fortify red hallway. Going to have your rotation holes from there. Going to have your Mira on the garage wall, which again is a pretty new one. I haven't seen that done too often.
That's a tactic I've kind of used, because when someone pushes up in garage, or if they have a few people pushing up, that kind of means that there's less people upstairs, so like they won't always get that hatch open, because it'll kind of be just an extra push to kind of throw you off. That mirror in there makes it almost impossible for the defenders to push up, like, because being blind to that, it forces you to peek them, and the attackers from the garage, there's some pretty good spots for them to just wait for you. We are seeing, looks like a blue stair hold. Who was sitting up? Oh, we got Miz sitting up there with the shield prepped, so hopefully able to nail that down as we have Nightmare, making sure that no one comes up from behind her with that smoke shotgun.
Yeah, that's an odd spot for your smoke, though. Like, I think it would be better to have a Legion there with his shotgun, potentially.
Right, yeah, you want to be able to hold on to those smokes for those last-second plants, and that happens a lot in these competitive matches, so some people hold less value to that than others. I myself find that super valuable. We are going to see Zofia burning those Jaegers out, and the shield is going to be gone. But now you have to deal with the smoke itself for that push.
Yeah, and especially with that shotgun. And Mozzie does take control of one of his drones. Smoke does push back, but he doesn't have any smokes left. So at this point, you've wasted a lot of utility to then just die. Kind of a bad play on the Smoke's part there. I don't know how. Because Smoke is a time waster, and he did waste some time, rather than at the end, kind of near the middle. So I can see that strat. I can see it, but at the same time, you could have used a Legion. Legion would have wasted the same amount of time, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But again, it is. If it works, right now, as you can see here, Nightmare is not been pushed out. He gets 2. He takes out Sentries as well. So then Diffuser is down. So it did seem like the smoke strategy did work. They do drop in after the smokes get deployed from the Capitao. Capitao is pre-firing that Jaeger pretty hard. Jaeger is now stuck in here, but he can also pretty well stop this entire game because he has eyes on Diffuser. Just down to the Jackal at this point. And with 15 seconds left, it doesn't look good for him, and an easy headshot coming from Nightmare taking out Gunzy. Good win coming from Project George. Very definitive win. There were a lot of mistakes in my opinion from the defensive side.
Yeah,
I feel that smoke play was not advised. But so if it's as the old saying goes, if it's stupid and it works. Is it really stupid?
Yeah.
In this case, I guess not. But the attackers just moved a little slower than I feel they should have. They could have opened that hatch up top. They could have cleared up blue stairs, taken control of server room, and then there was that. But they just moved in one at a time, and it was just easy for them to really dispatch them so quickly. Not too sure what they were thinking there. They had the advantage after they killed that smoke, and they just lingered about.
Yeah, I think they got slowed down a little bit, and that definitely caused a huge problem for them. Yeah, the defenders holding some really nice angles after that, and that was a really good win from the defense. We'll see if they can kind of redo that on a different bomb site.
Yes, it's always the thing. Strategy's always good, but if you can repeat the strategy with the same results, then you know you have the best strategy. Yeah. Does seem here they are going to be walling up the wall or boarding up the wall in 90 over here. That's an uncommon play as well. Usually, though, you'll see somebody blow out the bottom and then hold it from stairs. Then it allows a little bit more flexibility. Walling that off does cut you off quite drastically. But again, I'm not going to judge what Project Trojan does at this point, because they seem to be doing the weird stuff, but the weird stuff seems to be working. So
yeah.
We see a buck come out. We see a buck, so we know somebody's going to be going up top to clear out any of the or not clear out any of the roads, but clear out any of the defenders who are on objective, make them scurry about a little bit.
Yeah, you got the buck and the jackal, so that's really that top floor hold jackal with his kind of secondary shotgun, also being able to do some work on the floor if necessary. We are going to see jackal taking some shots, bringing him down to half health, and Gunsy is going to get a kill on Miz. That's the dot going down.
That was pretty. That was a pretty good peek on his part. But as we can see here, we have the Zofia gets taken down by Nightmare. Nightmare is actually just turned on in this defense round, and they spot out the Thermite moving his way into the CEO.
The irony that I've kind of noticed is that we see Project Trojan using very similar Velt cams as the other team, also having an IQ, but not actually checking for the Velt cams. I don't think Project Trojan destroyed very many, if any at all, at the beginning.
Yeah, they run the IQ, but unfortunately they don't use the IQ.
And when they even know that there's a Valk, like, it takes a lot of discipline and like to play IQ a lot to be like, oh, I have to like always switch to that pistol and like check out your surroundings. And you know, I don't think quite that disciplined yet.
Yeah, it's first job as an IQ is to take out any Valkyrie cams, any excess cams. That's your number one job. After that, once you take out those, then it's take out any gadgets that need to be done, or like meat jam or something like that. And then thirdly, after that's done, then you become a fragger. The plant does go down very successfully, and right here we see Blitzkrieg is kind of on the back foot. He does have a Thermite and a Jackal to deal with, two very hard-hitting operators. And they are just going to sit here and wait. They are going to figure out where he's at. C4 comes out. They hear it come out, though. Moving away. He's back towards the diffuser. He is going to try and hold this angle. He does a little bit of a pre-fire. And unfortunately, Blitzkrieg is not able to hit the shots. Good pre-fire coming from Speedy.
Yeah, well, God. I think we missed a lot of that attack. No, like, it's always hard to try to focus in where the action is, because whenever you switch the camera, something always happens on the other end of the map that's just like basically the rules of how it works.
That's the rules of Siege.
Yeah, that's the rules of Siege.
You can hold an angle for basically 2.5 minutes, and then the second you look away, that's when you get shot.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. But yeah, I didn't see anything I didn't like from the attackers. They were able to open up what they needed to. It was down to a close 2v1 near at the end, but by then they had full control of the bomb site. So they were basically defending that bomb site, which made it easier for the attackers at that point. We do see Harp switching out from that Velk to that Bandit, a little extra firepower there compared to Valk's gun, so they might be looking to get a little bit more fragging power than information.
They could be doing that. It's an interesting one though, because the cams have been staying up.
Yeah,
there hasn't been really anybody denying the intel. So, and at this point, depending on the site, I guess they're going to try and go for possibly a bandit trick. which is very interesting, especially on this site because you have the open top there. You generally want to go for the impact trick rather than a bandit trick.
Yeah, Castle, I think, has used one impact, I think, so Castle should have another impact left. So Smoke should be using the shotgun to open up that possibility. So I'm not sure we'll see that. But yeah, the Castle's really common on this top floor. Shutting down those windows, that's a really long angle that a Glaz or anyone with an ACOG can get from outside, so you kind of want to shut that down a little bit. That's what's going on there. And yeah, trying to get a grasp of like the roaming situation that's going on. It looks like, I think Nightmare kind of spotted someone outside or something via cam, smashing them. I don't know if Nightmare's going to go try to hold an angle and peek from anyone pushing from outside, so we'll see how that goes for him.
Yeah, it does look like somebody's getting pinged out there.
Yeah.
You have Kuma quickly taking out the Buck, and that's your frag grenades off the board, or at least one set of frag grenades. So that's a very big kill off the start here, and we see a couple drones getting caught up in the hallway here. Nothing too crazy, and he gets healed up by the dock through the little keyhole there. So Kuma is going to be in charge of 90 hallway, but Speedy does take care of Kuma quickly. So at this point, we will have Hard going to try the bandit trick. He does get baited out quite easily. And now it goes on to the job of Nightmare to hold 90 hallway, but it is much easier with the MP5 and the ACOG than it is with a UMP and a hollow sight.
Yeah.
Minute 30 left, and we haven't seen much progress, though. And it does look like they are going to be going to... Yeah, they're going to open the wall. Unfortunately, the bandit trick does not work.
Stalled for a little bit of time there. Nightmare trying to hold down that 90 angle. I'm surprised that Buck pushed so early. Like, that's a pretty kind of suicidal run in there. But yeah, now a full minute left. Some flashbangs going out. Looks like they're going to push in pretty hard and pretty quickly. Second thermite's going to go off. This is going to really open up this bomb site. We do basically just see them holding long angles, and that's all they really have to do right now. A minute is a lot of time left for such an open bomb site. We're going to see another kill going down onto yellow. Only 2 attackers left against 4 defenders. It's not impossible, but they're going to have to really pull up their socks. We're going to see some trade-offs going off. We only have 1 attacker left against 3 defenders and 30 seconds left. Gunzy, all up to him. He's going to get a really nice shot onto Nightmare, bringing it down to a 1v2, but he must get that diffuser. Another kill onto Harp. This is going to make it very possible for him, and he still has the possibility to track him left.
Oh, what a shot.
Unbelievable. Gunzy is going to win that. That's going to be a 2v4, 1 via gun gameplay.
Straight up gun gameplay. That's all it was. Pre-fires, angles, and having the superior weapon. And recoil control.
Yeah, that's vital, yeah.
Vital, yeah, recoil control. You can't really win games if you're a potato, so it's not something that happens.
There's always that really bad potato player that just seems to always get those headshots, though. That's always frustrating. They clearly have no recoil control, and it just bounces around and lands on your head. Oh.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
Yeah,
another thing too is when you're on point, you have perfect recoil control, but then there's that last kill. And then all of a sudden your brain just turns on the potato, and it's like, you've been playing too good.
Yeah,
it's time for you to. You're at an 11. We need you at a 6, and then that's what happens. But very good gameplay coming from Dunzy. Very easy way to clutch it out. It seemed like he did that almost like without even hesitating. It was like almost no panic in the style of movement he was doing.
He seemed really controlled.
Very easy to watch, very almost satisfying in a way.
Yeah,
almost. But we will have them going back down to the basement, and it does seem like they're going to be doing what they did last time, potentially, maybe having the smoke over here in Blue Hall.
I'd like to see the kill feed, because we have some really good fraggers going on. And I'm expecting some double digits. I haven't been keeping track myself.
But like
Sentries. Gunzi and Sentries, I think, are probably
very notable players. There we go, right here. Gunzi, yeah, hitting those double digits for sure. Round's been very close, 5-4 so far. Like both teams have been playing quite well.
It is quite even. It seems like one round will be super dominated by best controllers, and then another round on like totally different site will be Project Trojan. It's just super back and forth.
Yeah,
so
two
at this
very
point, you can't really tell.
Very well paired teams, and this makes it fantastic to watch.
It absolutely does, and it does look like it does look like Yellow and Speedy are getting ready to take open the hatch or break open the hatches, get a couple sight lines going, and while everybody else drones up the top floor, make sure there's no roamers at bay. It doesn't look like they have any either.
Yeah, and again, the way that this map is, I guess instead of roamers, they're gonna go for like an extended anchor, which is what we see with the smoke holding down that blue a little bit. So instead of like trying to get some like kills and some chaos through roaming, you're just gonna hunker down just a little bit far off where you know the attackers are gonna go. He's gonna take a bit of damage from top of Skylight on a nice angle up there, using up 2 of his smokes, but already past the halfway mark. So he is doing a good job. We are gonna see that hatch being opened up eventually, and that's gonna make it a lot harder to hold these angles. But again, it's...
Oh, sorry, continue. I was going to say, if you notice, Blitzkrieg is backed off now. No, he's not pushed through steps just yet. And we do have Nightmare is going to go here for the peak, being a bit more aggressive.
They're doing a good job holding off that time. So, like, they have all their operators left, so I don't think they feel need to kind of back off. They're going to, like, stand that ground and waste as much time as possible. And with 2 of them there, we are going to see Sentries a nice kill onto Nightmare, but there's another defender there, right?
Yeah, there is. No,
there it goes.
Got him, but Y Gaming quickly takes him out. But Blitzkrieg, Sentries getting a little bit of tunnel vision, was not able to see that there was the smoke still behind the server. There's a couple times where he was there, and he just didn't see him. But the attackers do make their way into the site, and as you can see here, Capital bum rushing red, and it does seem like the plant does go down, and Mozzie pulling out the shotgun, trying to go for the long range kill, doesn't really work, and Speedy finishing it off. Unfortunately for Project Trojan, they got it was a slow game, and then Best Controller just turned on, and then just absolutely rushed him, and they just were not expecting that.
Y Gaming rushing past that mirror, good strat, because the mirror has to draw himself out. It kind of puts him in a tougher position. He got that nice kill onto there, and then he kind of like threw himself at the defenders, which like a suicidal run, but in order to make sure that the bomb goes down, not a bad idea. They had the manpower, so that was all right, and it just gave them that extra bit of time. They were running it pretty close, I'm not going to lie. Like, the defenders were doing a good job at wasting time. That game finished, like, all 5 players on the board. Then there was, like, 30 seconds left, and everything happened.
Yeah, exactly. Everything happened, everything kicked off, and they just were not ready for it.
Yeah, so this is going to put Best Controllers at match point. We're going to have to be seeing quite a change from...
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
oh boy. Quite a change from Project Trojan. I knew that name. Project Trojan. That took me way too long to...
Getting old.
Yeah, I drew a blank.
Getting old.
That was scary. So
it was those damn kids with the names.
Damn kids with their names.
Damn kids. But yes, Project Trojan does have quite an uphill battle at this point. It does seem like Best Controllers is just cranking it up and just trying to finish it off. That's what they're trying to do right now. And this site we did see Best Controllers have trouble on.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how they attack it, because this can be if they do what they did last time, because they've already attacked this site.
Mm-hmm.
they did what they did last time, they got this.
Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised that Project Trojan didn't go back down to the basement and use a different strategy. I'm not sure if they have another basement strategy or if that's kind of like the only thing they got. Because I can see why they didn't go back down there with that strategy, because the attackers have kind of figured it out by now. But I'm not sure if this is a much stronger option for them. But if you had a different strat to kind of throw the attackers off, go back down to the basement, and instead of like doing the progressed anchor situation that they had, and instead switch it up to the type of roamer thing going on, then that would have made some changes. We do see some walls being boarded up right here, as Maz is going to try to find the Jaeger. Nightmare holding down 90 right here. He's going to try to waste some time and deny the attackers from taking control of that top floor. If he does a good enough job, it will definitely help support the rest of the defenders. That thermite wall is going to get open though.
We do have Blitzkrieg over here in the main, or the front hall. Just trying to get a slow or a quick angle from just behind those cabinets. So it's a very interesting take for where to hold. I've never seen anybody hold it from there. But we do have them droning up top still, just seeing how to make sure to take care of all of the roamers. And as we see here, oh, Yellow catches hair off guard. And the Legion is just trying to push up as well. Minute 13 left, and it does seem like it is in the hands of best controllers. As I say that, 2 quick kills is coming from Kuma. And then Sentries is able to even it up after that. So 59 seconds left, 3v3. Buck, Jackal, and Maverick. 3 guns that you do not want to be facing in a gunfight.
Yeah, we have some strong opponents here though. Y Gaming is going to take down Ms. P. And that's going to, again, put them at a disadvantage. Gunzy, though, is going to get a kill of his own. A 3v1. And Nightmare's not even on site. The attackers have sight. He's going to go back and forth. Not able to land his shots. Guns is going to come around the corner with another kill. Getting himself 13. Tying himself with Kuma. I don't think we've been giving Kuma enough credit. Because he, too, has gotten some really good frags.
He has been trying to bring his team back. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as we can see. Best Controllers does win that one quite convincingly. It was a little bit back and forth there, but at the end they just kind of systematically took everybody out. So good job from Kuma though. Kuma just putting the team on his shoulders and going to town. But we see Wide Gaming and Gunzy up top there with 11 and 13.
A pretty even scoreboard, because like you have your obvious fraggers, and of course they're going to get more kills, but even the anchor players, we see a lot of frags and support coming from the anchor players. Like both teams did a really good job. Everyone contributed quite well. Yeah, I'm very impressed with the match that we saw, and I would love to see these teams fight again on a different map.
Yeah, something a little bit different, mix it up a little bit.
See what changes, yeah.
Exactly, but we might see that, and later down the line when these two teams might clash again. But for now, guys, that was game number 1. We have another game on the way. We're going to get everybody in here, and we're going to take a 5-minute break and get everybody in. We're going to stretch our legs, go grab some popcorn, go get what are they? What are the little caramel things? I can't remember what they were called. Go grab some of those. That's good. Grab a lot of stuff. Go into your cupboard.
Get yourself some hard candies.
Get some hard candies. Grab your root beers, and we'll meet you back here in 5 minutes. But thanks for staying tuned, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll be back with game number 2 with Rise versus MMG Black in game number 2. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in a bit.
Hello and welcome back to the MMG. We're in week 3, and we're going to be seeing tonight Rise Alliance versus MMG Black, and we're here now in the map ban phase.
That we are.
I am not sure because the first 2 bans are the previous maps that they've played. So, okay, we have Coastline Off from Rise Alliance. I'm not sure what MMG played last. Okay, Cafe.
It's an interesting pick.
Again, Cafe, I guess they played Cafe last time. Trying out some new strats.
That's what I mean. It's an interesting pick that they did that last time. Usually that's pretty close to being the first one off the board. I have yet, unfortunately, I haven't played as much season as I'd like to. So having that being said, I haven't played as much Cafe as I'd like to. But we do see Clubhouse and Bank get knocked off as well. Seeing Bank last game, we know it's a very roamer heavy. Consulate as well. It's unfortunate Consulate gets knocked off. I do like Consulate a lot. So down to Border and Villa.
I expect us to go to Border.
I think it's going to be a Villa map, maybe.
You might be right again. I don't know.
There's something you must learn about me, Jeff.
I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we very well could be going to Villa.
It'd be interesting to see Villa. Villa is a good map. I got to give it credit. It is definitely a good map.
It's a fun map. It's a big map, though. That's the problem. That's the main thing people have a problem with. And there we go. We go to Villa.
There's a lot to learn on Villa, and that's the thing. But, if you can really get ahead of another team and just know the map inside and out, spots through the floor and, other angles, then, Villa's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it is, again, a defensive favored map. Just because of that fact that it is so big.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to attack because top floor, generally, you're going to have people going through, 90% of the time, you're going to have people going through a master bedroom. It's just a given at that point.
Yeah.
That's just where you attack from. But we also get, it's still new enough where there are some strategies that probably haven't been tested yet and some things that you can pull out of the woodworks. So it'll be interesting to see the ban phase, which we are now getting into, of seeing who gets picked off here. Attacker-wise, I'm not too sure, but I know for defensive-wise, we're probably going to see a Mira.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So whoever's attacking first is probably going to take Mira.
So Jackal's
going to get picked off. Again, on a big map, it's pretty common to get Jackal off. As another attacker, a Buck. I think Buck is it is going to be Habana. Okay. See, the reason I was going to possibly say Buck again, there's a lot of spots that you can open up through the floor again that can really help your team. And some of them are from the ground up. So Sledge can't do that. Buck can because he can shoot at a distance.
Yeah, exactly. Legion, that's actually not a surprising one either. Just because of how effective he is on this map. He can cut off a lot of areas for the attackers to flank from or anything like that, especially coming from the main floor up.
Ella.
I get her shotgun's powerful, guys, but come on.
Is it really stronger than Mira?
Is it stronger than Mira? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Is Ella's shotgun stronger than Mira? The answer is no. Just so you know,
we'll give that right away. There's no test. That's the answer.
It's a rhetorical question.
Ooh, knock.
Nook. Ooh, nook.
Nook. Nook. Who's there? Knock.
Nook. Who's there?
Oh, not knock. It's gonna get 6 picked.
Knock. Nook. Who's there?
IQ.
That's
we're gonna get muted.
That's literally in 10 years. That's gonna be a dad joke. 100%.
Yeah.
Because we grew up on Siege. it's going to be, hey, Dad, what games did you grow up with? I have a joke for you, Nook Nook. Who's there? IQ. And they're going to be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What? My dad's stupid. But we do see Nook get pulled off. I was actually excited there. I would love to see Nook be used because I'm trying to main Nook. And it's hard because it's an interesting operator to use. I think her strengths are when moving in as a group in an odd way. And hear me out on this. If they're on the cams and they see two people enter, they're not going to, and they're moving in slowly, and you have Nook run ahead, so go in with them and run ahead, they're going to know, okay, there's two in here, go push them, not knowing that there's a Nook that just ran that way and is waiting for the person to push. So it's one of those things where you can play her that way. That's kind of how I'm having some success. But
she's an aggressive play style because her ability is hiding and like getting past cams. So I would kind of say an aggressive play style for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Some lines going out really early. I can't say I agree with that unless they've already like droned someone out and they're kind of actively hunting someone and they're trying to pin them down, which like Max seems to think that someone's there. But
yeah, it's after the nerf to Lion, the off the spawn.
Oh yeah,
the off the spawn EE1D isn't as effective, just because it doesn't give you enough information. As we see, we just saw another
second one.
We do see Deke just take out Van pretty quickly. That is the Valkyrie off the board. But she probably already has all her intel out. But as we can see here, we have Deke using his IQ's gadget to the full potential, trying to find any cameras, trying to find any gadgets that might be sneaking around. So good on her using that correctly.
Yeah.
But moving back to the Lion, he's using them really quickly, whereas Lion is, I feel, another one going out with 1:15 left.
That's the last one. So
and that's the last one. You want that closer to end game than you do mid and beginning game. Because
sorry, continue.
Oh, I was going to say, because you have enough operators where you can drone out. You can use. I feel like Lion needs to be used when there is no drones available. When there's nothing left, you need to then rely on the Lion. Using him right away is just a waste of utility.
My thoughts on Lion. So for the average player, average team, Lion is not a good pick. Lion only becomes very powerful when your team is so well coordinated and has communication so well down pat that you can use Lion to the best benefit, trapping players and like that kind of coordination that will really lock down a player where if he moves, he's going to die. If he stays there, he's going to die anyways. That's what you need Lion for. And even at this gameplay in ranked, Lion isn't that useful.
Yeah, and also, jeez, he's Riley Frags doing what his name says and getting the frags. Look at him just being a super aggressive bandit. Thatcher getting caught off guard there. Nice.
Pretty sure Thatcher saw him go past the window when he.
I thought he did too.
Up. So I was kind of surprised that. I don't know. Anyways, Riley Frags, a nice 3K from him.
Yeah, very nice 3K. But like you were saying, Lion is very powerful as well in a situation where a lot of things are going on, right? So if the attackers are pushing in, having him pop his E1D while people are moving about just gives you that extra intel. Like using it that early when there's no pressure. Everyone's standing still or barely moving anyway.
They can move around anyways because they know the attackers are still like way out there. Post plant is a really good time to use.
Exactly
that ability because
you want to use it post plant, and you also want the best time to pop off your first Lion. And I used to main Lion, so you can take this as party advice from a Lion main back when he was super cancerous.
Yeah.
Is the best time to use your Lion is after your first frag goes out. So after the first defender goes down, pop it.
Yeah.
No matter if you got the kill or not, pop the E1D. you might not see anybody, but you might occasionally catch somebody rotating to take that spot, and therefore that gives you the intel. Okay, there's going to be somebody possibly coming from this direction, and you can at least relay that information. So,
yeah. So we're going to be seeing both Mira and Echo, two very powerful anchor defenders, being brought to the table because they weren't banned, because apparently Ella's shotgun is better, which I am still yet to be convinced that Ella's a better ban than, like, you know, Echo.
Yeah, to me, it's a very ranked style ban. It's not a competitive play ban. Because an Ella on this map is not powerful. The Scorpion does not have the damage to do it, and you're almost never close enough, or at least the attackers are never close enough to be affected by it, unless they're pushing in through bathroom, but even then, you can still you can dispatch it for quite quickly. This is not her map. So, like you said, you could have banned out the Mirror, you could have banned out an Echo. A little bit of a misplay on my part, I would say. But we do have Thatcher. He is going to peek in through here, just trying to catch anybody who decides to peek through there. As well as we have MMG Stone. A little bit of pre-fire. Thatcher and Thermite are going to be sticking together. But we do have Deke over here going for the little bit of a rush frag. And oh my god, as you see here, Deke catches Riley Frags off guard. Was not expecting the Ash to be in that hallway. And it does get taken out quite quickly, so we're back down to a 4v4 at this point. But with a minute 22, things are moving awfully slow.
That's a good kill to pick up. Riley is a strong player, like we've seen him all last season. Like, the whole team is very good. To beat this team is like, if you can beat Rise Alliance, like, you can possibly win. Like, it's a team to beat.
You have a good shot of making it to the playoffs. Like, you are then known for beating Rise Alliance. So MMG Black has a lot to prove in this game. So having him off the board, having a little bit of an edge, always a good thing. So as you can see here, though, we do have Max Tempo taking out DCL. So that's another one for MMG.
They're running out of time. That's the trouble. They're very spread out, and they're running out of time. Ash is still... missing an easy shot. Fumble.
No, Deke
snapping on him.
Yeah, he lined it up and still missed. Unfortunately, he's not able, not used to the reflex. And as we see here, Vang is able to take out Izzy quite easily with Echo MP5 SD. As you can see there, just holding that angle, not really watching his angles. It was unfortunate. I feel bad for Deke. Deke had that one.
Deke had that. I would have wanted to see another kill for Deke, but that was unfortunate to watch. And the worst part is, like, the camera was on him. Like, we never would have known if the camera was on anyone else.
I know. It's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But Rise Alliance goes up 2 games. I feel like they were handed that one, though. That was they were having a bit of trouble. MMG was keeping it even there for a bit, but then unfortunately, after the Deke misfire, there was a couple other things that happened, and then MMG just kind of crumbled. So, good job, Rise Alliance, on that round, bringing it up 2-0.
Rise was doing a really good job. Like, they had some roamers spread out, some of them still in the vicinity so that they could come back, but like they were like well positioned, and I don't think that MMG Black they didn't seem coordinated enough, because whenever we kind of backed out, they seemed kind of spread out all along. Like, I think the IQ and Ash were roaming, like, trying to take care of the roamer, but they were both individual running around, which is why, like, the IQ got taken apart. Now, it was lucky that Deke playing the Ash basically saw the IQ get obliterated and just waited.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, beyond that, it wasn't a good strat. Like, you want to clear out the roam with, like, a quick player in there, have someone drone them out. I don't think I saw them droning out their entry frags.
There's very little droning. From what we saw with the Ash, I didn't see much droning, and same thing with Thatcher and any of them. I didn't see much droning happening at all. So we do see beginning of the game droning, but I feel like there's very poor drone economy. So they're losing the drones, and then they lose all that intel rather than trying to keep the drones in spots where there might be heavy rotations or possibly even some some sort of hiding spots that they might know of that the defenders use. You have to make sure that your drones are being used to the maximum potential. If not, it's just a waste of the gadget at that point. Riley fragged, making up for last round, taking out Deke.
That's a Montaigne off the board.
How did you lose the Montaigne? Montaigne was all by himself.
Is IQ there? Is IQ outside?
IQ is out on the balcony.
You need the coordination. Again, Montaigne should never have been by himself. Oh, Bumble's going to pick himself up a kill. Again, everyone just seems to be kind of running around.
These roamers are running amok right now, and as you can see here, MMG has no idea what to do with it.
They're so spread out.
MMG Stone is going to try and get
two kills.
Two quick kills, so brings it back down to the 3v3. So good job, Stone, able to finish off the Bandit and the Jaeger. Those are the two main ones, and as you can see here, he does miss a couple shots, but he does land a few of them as well. Not able to take that Doc down to any sort of HP that makes him killable. As you can see here, the Vigil does push up quite aggressively, not able to finish off Stone. Stone does back away, though. He's going to hold the angle with 50 seconds left, though. They do have to figure out how they're going to be pushing this. We do have Thatcher coming from the other angle as well. He looks like he might push into Vang here, but with the Alda on his side, Vang does have the advantage. He's going to go for the reload. 40 rounds left, though. He could have got that one, but we have Stone going for another one, getting a nice triple kill into DCL. 36 seconds left. This can easily be won, but unfortunately, Stone does get caught up in the crosshairs of Doc. And we do have here Vang just holding off Thatcher. Keeps reloading at 42 rounds. You can go for a little bit with that Alda, but he is going to hold that angle with 17 seconds left. He's going to get a little aggressive. And he does get too aggressive. And Izzy finishes him off. Couldn't go for the kill. And Stone gets picked up. And Runic finishes him off. How did he get up? And we have Thatcher here as well, but not able to finish off the Doc. Fenders win. How did the Thermite get back up?
I don't
did he get
know.
Docked? Did he get docked?
No, I think Izzy backed off and maybe went to pick him up, but
perhaps, I don't know.
So like we have the two teams we have here, Rise Alliance, who like we saw last season, tried and true, and then MMG Black, who I don't know, is a newer team, which shows it takes a long time to develop the strats, the communication, and just the coordination as a team. And we see a little bit of that. We see a little bit of kind of a ranked style, which is what happens when you're kind of a new team is trying to work together.
You gotta build the synergy.
You can be really good fraggers, but when you go against a team like Rise Alliance, you need more than that. Like you said, you need the drone economy. That's got to be on point because you got to know where those roamers are. You got to know the angles they're holding because running around, you're going to get picked off.
Yeah, as we've seen too, the lack of teamwork, and not in the sense of like call-outs or anything, but for Monty was all by himself with no assistance. That is a complete waste of a Monty. That is not what you do with a Montaigne. You need coverage for the Monty. Imagine if they had a Caveira. That totally different. The roamers could have completely finished off that round. So you always have to think of that. You always have to think of the sixth pick too.
Yeah.
So, and as we see here, Bumble with a quick frag onto TSM, and that is the Buck gone. So As we see here, it does look like Rise Alliance is starting to kind of run away with it a little bit.
Yeah, they're confident now, and I'm wondering if MMG even has a strat. I'm not seeing a specific strat come out. Like maybe a general strat, like we should try to open this wall, but like when you're putting a team together, you need like very specific instructions. Like Thermite, you have to sit here and hold this angle, stay alive until like Thatcher and IQ get in there, clear this and that specifically. Now that we know it's clear, then Thermite goes in. Like that's how specific you have to get with it. Stone's going to get another kill into Bumble using a Claymore, taking advantage of the aggression from the defenders. A really smart choice. We do see Lunik, who has that defense shield up. That's going to be really tricky. Riley Fragg's a really good fragger, just sitting, waiting behind it for a nice, easy kill for someone to stick their face into that window. Time is gone in half a minute, 30 left. And we do see another kill onto MMG Stone. That's going to bring him down to only 3 operators left for this push.
And that's Diffuser.
And so Diffuser.
That's what I agree with you. There's not much idea of what to do. It does seem like everybody's kind of doing their own thing. There's no roles. There's no cohesion. Like you have an idea of what your operator does, but you have no role.
Yeah.
Like why would you be that far ahead by yourself with Diffuser? No reason for that. And as we see here, DCL is just taking him out, but as we see here, Deke does take out DCL quite easily. And the C4 does hit this Ash in the face, and he does finish her off quite quickly. So down to a 3v1, just with Izzy here. Izzy and her F2, not able to hit the shots onto Vang. Vang making quick work of that. MMG just struggling.
Yeah, everyone's so spread out. It becomes just like one-on-one and stuff. It's tough. Like I don't want to pick too much on MMG because it's hard to put your team together and it takes a while before you get your strats and stuff down pat. So like you got to realize that while watching it, and they're going up against Rise Alliance. Like this is like we said, this is the team to beat. So a little unfair in that aspect. So it might be kind of like it makes it harder for MMG to shine in that aspect. We might be seeing a little bit different gameplay if it wasn't against such an elite team. We might see a little bit more, like they're doing this a bit better, they're doing this a bit better, but like a single mistake against Rise Alliance and like they'll rip you apart. Like there's no room for error, and when you're a new team, there's going to be a lot of errors.
Yeah, they smell blood in the water right now, so Rise is at this point, Rise is just playing with their food a little bit. They are making quick work. They're using Clash. Clash is probably one of the more easy operators to counter. She's got so many counters, and she's just not being taken care of. Like you have to prioritize who you're taking out, where you're moving, where you're going, how you're going to approach things, what the strategy is of moving underneath objective, around objectives, through objective. You have to have an idea of how the round is going to go and what the strategy is based on that. And I don't even know if MMG has a strategy moving towards the objective. They have an idea of what they got to do. They have an idea of what they want to do, but there's nothing in between. You can't read a story with just a beginning and an end. There has to be a middle part. And as we see here, though, MMG Stone does take out
Riley. Yeah,
Visual. Getting a bit aggressive was Riley.
Yeah. The other thing being, they just may not have strats for this map.
That is true.
Because there's a lot of maps, a lot of bomb sites. For your team to have like even a single strat for each map and bomb site is intensive work. So it just may not be their map. Like this may be just a map where they have like really nothing much to go off of, and that's that.
Yeah, it does seem that. But as we see here, though, MMG does take out 2 very important operators, the Vigil and the Jaeger. So that is a pretty good sign for them that they are possibly learning and trying to at least out-frag Rise, which, again, it can be done.
Yeah.
But right now, they do seem to be stalling. And as we see here, Clash is just telling MMG Stone, no, just go a different way. You're not going this way. And MMG Stone is just kind of stuck here at this point. He doesn't have much to go off of. With a minute 23, though, they do have to try and figure out what the game plan is here. We do have MMG Stone slowly pushing in. He's going to push the wall. And he's going to get it open with really no resistance. And just like that, MMG does open up one of the walls into objective by Vault. But with a minute left and 3 smoke grenades on the board and a Clash, it's going to be a little difficult. Bandit DCL is going to be approaching from the back, so you're going to go for a little bit of a flank. So,
MMG sitting in a pretty good position, though. We are going to see Deke getting taken down by Vang. Though we do have a trade-off. B. Ryan taking down 2, one of them being his own teammate, unfortunately. This is going to be for a 3v2. This is going to be a Clash and a Bandit left with 30 seconds left on the board. Both attackers, all 3 attackers with full health. Possibly, B. Ryan again, a 3rd kill if you want to count a team kill. All you have to do is deal with the Clash. It's a very winnable match, though. Lunik is going to be bringing out the gun. He's not going to be able to land the shots, is he? Finishes him off. That's a 1 win for MMG. Puts himself on the board.
Yep. 5 rounds later, they managed to do it, and so, better late than never, they say. MMG did seem pretty in control that round. They seemed prepared, where I feel Rise was a little bit more sloppy. That could be a matter of them just being a little bit more cocky. They have won 4 pretty decisive rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be them just kind of laying loose a little bit and then just getting caught up in that. It very well could be that.
Hey Neil, knock.
Who's Nook? Who's
Nook?
Who's the 6th pick? Who's the 6th pick? Oh, Nook's staying.
Nook there. Ooh.
Nook is staying. I'm excited for this.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to start.
I had to. It's okay. It's totally fine. I will never be mad at a Nook joke. You can't get me mad with a Nook joke.
Oh, good.
So it's okay. This is interesting. I haven't seen this yet. I want to see how this is. You know what the thing is too? I haven't watched much Pro League, and I don't know if they've been. I don't think they've used Nook. I don't think Nook's been used in Pro League. So I don't know what a high-end strategy would be with Nook, with her being the way she is. And as we see here too, we have the P10 Roni making a debut as well. A very good gun, very underrated. It does have a smaller magazine, but it hits like a truck. So, and an RPM to boot. So it will be nice to see a couple new things going on in this round.
So, taking a look at Nook, she could possibly replace Ash as the entry fragger, benefit being if the other defenders are trying to sit on cams to catch locations of the attackers, that's Nook that can just sneak by that. So that could be the strategy there. Max tempo just not enough to kill him, so he will get picked up, but he's not going to have a whole lot of health left. Izzy, we are going to have a run out, and he's going to finish off. Bumble gets a kill.
And Bumble is being full aggressive mode at this point, and he takes out 3 Bumble.
Kill.
He's
being
guarding that diffuser.
That is tough to see.
That is very rough. And right now, Nook and Gridlock are in a very tough position right now. It's going to be interesting of how they play this one out. As you see here, we do have the Nook getting... Oh, he does finally take out Vang. Most of his health is gone, so he does have to kind of rethink this one. He's going to try and rotate back towards Gridlock. He's going to cloak up. He's going to make sure that he doesn't get spotted on the cameras, but he does get peeked by Riley with the roaming Mira. And right now it's just down to B. Ryan. And it's going to be a tough one. As we see here, Rise Alliance just not messing around at this point. They are being aggressive, but they are not messing around. And as you can see here, DCL just kind of playing with.
Yeah, so like
can't play with their food this way, boys.
Right now, for MMG, you need to recognize the crazy aggression that we're seeing from Rise Alliance and play off that. Because basically what they're doing now is, as soon as they get a little bit of information of where an attacker is, they're just basically booking it there for a frag. So, like, you almost want to get yourself spotted, back off, and hold an angle and wait, because you know they're just going to come rushing towards you.
Yeah, exactly, right? You have to be prepared at this point to know that they are going to be pushing you, and they are going to be pushing you hard.
So we so far 5-1 in this switchover right now. Very aggressive attackers again, like Ash and Twitch. The utility mostly at kind of like a Fragger standpoint. They do. Oh, never mind. I didn't see the thermite there. But the problem being that they have nothing to counter the bandit if those Twitch drones go down.
Mm-hmm. There's really not much to go off. And again, like I said, drone economy. You want to get that. You want to wait like a split second before throwing in your Twitch drone into a room. If you know somebody's there, you want to let them go by, not know there's a drone around, and then go in. You have a goal with the Twitch drone. It's take it as much utility as possible.
And we just saw Riley Frakes lose his first Twitch drone.
Yes. So again, it could very well be them just messing about at this point. They have 2 more rounds to go, and they've convincingly won 5 of them. So it could be just them being a little bit more loose, let's use that term, than they usually would be, right? So they're not too worried about how MMG's composition is right now. Mm-hmm. They're strictly playing the aggressive frag role.
Yeah, but with the amount of information that MMG can get right now with the Maestro and the Echo, if they play smart, MMG can beat them, because Rise is going to have some difficulty opening up some walls.
Yes, it will be an interesting take. As we can see here, though, Ash, first kill going on to max tempo. And he's just going to push in here, taking out Stone shortly after. So that is your Maestro off the board. And right now we will have the Ash doing a pre-fire. What a shot onto B. Ryan. And right now they are in full control, just pre-firing everything. And Riley frags with another one. So it literally just like that, we are down to a 1v5. He does take out one, but Lunik takes out Izzy quite quickly, as you can see here. That was a very... I was more than decisive. That was just a blatant pummeling.
Oh, yeah.
On the side of MMG.
Yeah, Bumble just amazing fragger. Both Bumble and Riley, like we've seen before, they're really good at landing their shots, and especially Ash, when you have a little head like that, it's hard to counter that.
It honestly is.
And the game sense, like those pre-fires are like that was pretty incredible.
So Bumble and Riley combined have more kills than MMG. MMG as a whole has 16, and Bumble and Riley have 18.
Yeah,
it is right now. It is a pretty hard one. It's at this point MMG's playing to survive. Again, being a new team, you have to understand your flaws. You have to understand where you're going wrong, and this is a learning experience. This is nothing
absolutely
wrong.
You play against a good team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you learn from your losses to create the victory later down the line. So this should not be looked at as a bad thing for MMG. This should be looked at as a good thing, because from here you can adapt, you can learn, you can figure out compositions, you can learn strategies, you can counter strat as well. You can understand how they play. You log these things. You put them. You write them down. You sit down as a team. You figure this stuff out, and from there you just get better. So At this point, MMG just has to play their game and not play Rise Alliance's game.
Yeah. Yeah, Rise Alliance is going for a really quick, aggressive game. It's up to you to slow it down.
Yeah, exactly, right? They just have to... They know they're going to rush. It's kind of way they didn't do too many trap operators. I would have liked to see possibly even a Capcan make his way here. It would have been as a 6th pick even, right? You know, maybe instead of the Valkyrie, you pick the Capcan just to slow them down a little bit. But we will have Deke here as well. Bumble with the first frag onto B. Ryan, and another one onto Izzy. So that's 2 very quick kills. He's going to be doing the rush strat. A third one coming from B. Ryan. He's just going to be going total YOLO mode into the objective. He's only got about 20 health, but he can do it with R4C. He's going to be trying to pre-fire everything. He puts the frost, almost takes her out, not able to hit his shots. He's going to shoot or he's going to toss his flashbang in. He's going to retreat, move back towards before statuary room, not able to get anybody else. And finally, Max Tempo is able to put down Bubble, but at what cost? Your Ash has taken out 3 of your most crucial operators, and you've damaged at least another one, so you're at a very, very strong disadvantage at this point. We have a minute 30 left. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, you're up against a lot of attackers, and that Ash Rush, Riley Frags now picking up one defender left. You're going to see that second kill. That's going to be attackers, another win for Rise
Alliance, making it look easy.
Yeah.
Disposing of MMG. Again, MMG, look at this as a learning experience. Not as a bad thing. Rise Alliance being an incredible team. Winning this 7-1.
You got one. They got one in there. That's something to be proud of.
Hey, you got one in there. That's something that you can go home with. You can say, hey, we won this one. This is what we did. Let's focus on that and focus and learn from the other thing. So
absolutely.
All in all, guys, that was some good games. It was good games. Very entertaining to watch. But that's going to be it for us tonight. So I hope you enjoyed watching all this. Don't forget to follow MMG on, Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. As well as don't forget to hit that follow button. Also follow them on YouTube. We're on YouTube. We post all our games. We post all that good stuff. And on Twitch. Just stay on Twitch. You can follow pretty well everybody on MMG. You can follow Ferg. You can follow Scummy. Follow myself, Neil Bubber, and Bubba Fabes as well. You can follow us all there. And don't forget, if you like what we do, you like what you see, leave some comments, leave us some ideas, as well as don't forget to hit those subscribe buttons on whatever you're watching us on. That always helps us too. But for now, guys, my name's Neely Bobber. This has been Bubba Fabes. Thank you for casting with me tonight, Bubba. It's good to have you back again.
It feels good to be back.
Yeah, and we'll catch you next time, guys. Have yourselves a good night.